all you have to do is run, and like might as well make it a really fun time and appreciate the people that are out there for you.
Welcome to another episode of Flagstaff Bound, a special Cocodona 250 series brought to you by Distance to Empty podcast and Aravaipa Running. I'm Kevin Goldberg, host of the Distance to Empty podcast, where we dive deep into 200 plus mile races, just like Cocodona 250. And as always, I'm joined by my trusty co-host, Peter Noyes. Today we're joined by someone whose story is completely woven into the history of this race. I promised myself I was finally going to ask her how to pronounce her name before I hit record, and I did not. So I'm going to go for it here. Most people call her Sarah O. Sarah Ostaszewski, from her 99-hour finish in year one to taking the win in year 3. Sarah's journey through Cocodona has been a masterclass in evolution. She took 2024 off to go win the Moab 240. No big deal. Is now back to run Cocodona 250 again in year 5. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks so much for having me back on. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, likewise. So let's start with the arc that I just kind of ran through there. In 3 years, you went from a 99-hour, I think 200 debut to a 72-hour course-winning performance. When you look back on that progression now, like what does that mean to you? Like what does this race mean to you, and why coming back again in 2025?
Yeah, I think I would say Cocodona is still my favorite race. Back in 2021, like the first year I ran it, it was just so fun. I had such a good time. I didn't know what I was doing. It was essentially me, my sister, and my mom out there just like spending the week, 99 hours, like sub 100. I thought was really cool. I didn't have any sense of like time or anything like that. I just wanted to like get to the finish line and have this cool multi-day experience. That was the first time I went past like a 24-hour type of running event. So I just had a great time, I think, coming back. And then I was inspired to like move to Flagstaff for a change and just to spend more time out there. So in 2022, I kind of had this sense like maybe I could win it. Like the podium was awesome, but I had that sense of like I could really put everything together and maybe win it. So if things lined up well and things went well for me. So yeah, I had to go back for another year, and I feel like I put together an awesome crew. Again, my sister was out there to help. I feel like she's experienced as much of Cocodona as I have over the years. So yeah, I felt this sense like maybe I could get it done and win this thing. And still like, yeah, just enjoy myself and have a good time. So, yeah, I feel like the progression was really cool to see, and to just know that I could put something like that together, and have it turn out so well. 2024, I was outpacing Joe Corcione, and it was like interesting to be like kind of on the outside looking in. I'm like, this is crazy. Who does this stuff? It seemed bigger kind of watching from the outside. I think when you're running it, it's like you're in it, you're focused on your own running. So yeah, it was cool to kind of see it from a different perspective. But yeah, I was very inspired by Mika Thews in 2024, and she was like getting close to the time I had gotten in 2023, and it was having a great race until that like Eldon climb. But it was like that moment when I was like watching Mika's race, I'm like, I think I need to go back and give it another go and see if I could like improve more on the time. They made some course changes, so we'll see if it seems like it's a little slower this year with the course changes. But yeah, and it was also cool last year to see that handful of folks get their 1,000 miles on the course. So I'm like, I need to go get 1,000 miles. So yeah, I'm back this year.
So with your progression, you talked about putting all the pieces together. So what were those pieces? Was it fitness? Was it race strategy? Was it confidence? Or some mix of all of that?
Yeah, a mix of all of that. At the first year, I was coming from Portland, Oregon. At sea level, it's not really specific to like racing in Arizona. It's like humid, kind of rainy weather, not the desert at all. So I think moving to Flagstaff definitely helped, and I spent like more time on the course and everything. I became very familiar with the route, which was a big piece of it. Just confidence, I guess, and knowing what's ahead and kind of having a sense of how I wanted to run certain sections. Yeah, and just experience with a multi-day event. Going back over the years, like kind of dialing, like, I feel like we don't get a lot of opportunities to actually practice the sleep strategy and all of those things that come into play during a 200. So yeah, over the years, I feel like I've just like honed it in a little bit more each time and like figured out like, okay, how can I do the sleep a little bit better or eat a little bit differently? So all of that stuff for sure for like my own running, like fitness helps, training on the course helps, but I also like I've loved my crew and everybody every time I've been out at the race, but I think I've dialed that into, it's like there's a lot of people who are willing to hop in and help, which is awesome. I love to see that, but I think like yeah, I for me it's like keeping a very tight knit crew that's experienced in these things or experienced with like knowing what the runner needs at certain times, and um also just hearing more stories from more people over the years, people who have done these types of events. And my coach, Jeff Browning, has a lot of guidance too. So yeah, just putting a lot of different pieces together.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like, it seems like most people who compete in these events for for a spot up at the top, or go for really aggressive times, are really doing one or two of these a year. They're not running a ton of these, and there's so many strategies and intricacies in these races that can only be practiced in these races. I mean, you can think about them ad nauseum, you can make spreadsheets and like strategize, sort of offline, so to speak. But yeah, it's really hard to put those things into action in training. Which, like, for me, every time I step up, I feel like a rookie all over again, even though it's like, this will be like 11 200 milers after this year. It's just like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I
Sarah,
like, oh, sorry. I was
no,
just going to add on that.
yeah,
It's cool to see that everyone in the field kind of comes with their own different strategy that they've for sure thought about and prepared for, but like everyone has a different approach and it all works out. Like very, very different approaches can, get you a great performance or have you end up being satisfied with your race. So yeah, it's cool to see the different approaches.
yeah, totally. You mentioned, seeing the race from the outside perspective last year, crewing and pacing Joe. What did that, like, how did that shift your perspective on the race? Like, has it changed your own approach preparing for it this year? Like, because I've had that experience too, and it really is wild to like take yourself out of the event and like experience it from the other side.
Yeah, it was awesome. Joe is a very fast, talented runner. So I picked him up at Whiskey Row. And it's like, for me, when I get to Whiskey Row, I'm like very excited to see crew. It's like sometime in the night. So like I know how tired I've felt at Whiskey Row going into that, like out of Prescott and then into the Granite Dells. So like me coming in fresh, seeing Joe, it's like I had a sense of like, okay, this is what we need to get done. Like I was really fresh mentally and physically. And so I wanted like Joe to stick to his plan. I tried to keep him on track. And like it's it's really cool to see. It was really nice to see Joe be that strong through the Granite Dells because like I know I've felt super tired and Joe like did well with caffeine. He like was eating food. I kept him on the plan and like it was great. I'm like, oh wow, like Granite Dells can be pretty fast. Like Joe had a good time through there. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun to see that section go well when in the past maybe it hasn't gone that well for me just because I've been so tired. So yeah, I for sure was thinking about like caffeine and how I might like to do that section differently this year while I was pacing Joe.
So, living in Flagstaff, you are intimately familiar with the course. I mean, you just talked about Granite Dells a little bit, wanting to do differently, but wondering, are there any other sections where you feel like you just haven't quite nailed yet that you've struggled in historically that you want to approach differently?
Yeah, I think the Munns Park, that almost like loop section where it's like Schneebly Hill all the way to the Munns Park aid station they moved the aid station now. So like, I don't know, that whole section I think will be interesting this year. I've again felt pretty tired doing that in the, afternoon time frame. It's like, I don't, nap during the day doesn't really work for me. So I think, and this year we can't have pacers through that section. So I think for me, I'm going to have to go in and like be ready at Schneebly Hill to like just knock that section out and get it done and stay on top of everything like myself and not have a pacer kind of helping me or reminding me what to do or pushing me through that section. So I'd like to nail Munns Park section. Same with Kelly Canyon. I've been in there different times of day. I think my sister has paced that section. both years or all years that we've done that section. So it can get really cold at night, but then if you're like, I think in the past my electrolyte balance has also been off, and I felt like weird. I mean, everyone's sleepy at that point probably, but yeah, Munns Park, Kelly Canyon, I'd like to just like knock out this year. And like, yeah, prepare mentally and physically, prepare a little bit more to like hit Schneebly Hill, and yeah, just stay strong through that section.
That was my goal for the Mingus descent last year, and I was like, it didn't work. I had just as bad a time as I did the previous year. For some reason, that section just gets me.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
So the flip side of that, Sarah, you've become a student of this distance. What is something that about the 200 plus mile racing that you think you have really mastered?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say I've like mastered it. I think I've just gotten better at like accepting. Like I think compared to the first year where I had no expectations of myself, I just wanted to experience everything and like get to the finish line and kind of say I did this big thing. It still feels like a big thing for sure. But I think I have higher expectations of myself, and some more like internal pressure. So like I think it's just like run it, like accepting that you'll be out there for a long time. It's like a long event, and like trying to run your own race. Like you can go in with your strategy and stick to it, but like things change, you have to adapt. So I think like for me, I think I'm like, don't get caught up in what anyone else is doing. Like I want to do my best, but like just like enjoy my time out there and self-manage. And I think at Moab I could have had some better self-management. It was a tough course, but mentally a tough course. But yeah, I think like sticking to my own race, and like appreciating my crew and appreciating the time that I get to just run. Like I think it's really nice to just be able to sign up for these big things, and like that's all you have to do for the week, or that, you know, if you're out there for the entire time cut off, like all you have to do is run, and like might as well make it a really fun time and appreciate the people that are out there for you.
So this year's women's field is stacked at Cocodona. So what's it like being part of this Cocodona community where the competition, is growing every year?
Yeah, it's cool to see. I'm really excited for the women's field. I mean, to me, the women's field has always been great. Like there's always been great women who sign up for this event, and it's really cool to see the percentage of women in the field like slowly going up every single year. I think Steve said it was like 33% or something. It's like steadily increasing, which is really cool for this distance. So I think with some of the bigger names in the field this year, it's cool to finally see like the eyes on the field again. I think the like women's side has always been cool. There's always been like, great competition on the women's side, but I feel like some more eyes are on it this year, which is well deserved.
All right, Sarah, we've got some questions that we've been asking everyone who's been on Flagstaff Bound. We've had some fun answers to these ones, so no pressure. First one's easy, especially for someone who's run Cocodona a million times like yourself. What section of Cocodona are you most looking forward to this year?
Oh, Eldon. It's always the Eldon climb that I'm looking forward to. It's different this year, which will be interesting, but yeah, like take off from Walnut Canyon, and like that's my to the end. That's always my favorite section. And it's really cool. I've mentioned this to people who are like thinking about signing up or signing up for the first time. There's like that section you're coming up to the Lane Mountain aid station, and you can see the San Francisco peaks, and you're like, you're less than a day in, and you can see where you're heading. And yeah, looking forward to Eldon. The entire race is very cool. Oh, the sound went off. I can't hear you.
Oh, I was going to say, I think you answered this one already, but which section are you least looking forward to?
Maybe the Mingus descent. That is very tough. Every single year that they've added that, like, it's supposed to be downhill to Jerome, right? But it just feels like constantly rolling stuff until you get to the road by the mine. So yeah, that's really tough. And Fain Ranch is also really tough.
Yeah, the markings in Fane Ranch get me every year. Even though you know where you're going, it's like I can see where I'm going, but like, how do I make a route through this
Yeah,
thing?
and you have to stay like there's tiny cactus in there that just get like embedded in your shoes and stuff. And yeah, I've had pacers where it's like, I gotta stop, like a cactus is in my shoes. So yeah, that's always tough.
All right, what shoes are you going to start Cocodona in?
The Nike Zagama 2.
And then what is an outcome of Cocodona 250 that is not tied to time or a placement or results that would make yourself proud?
I think what I kind of mentioned about like just self management, like I really like. I say this might be the last time I'm running Cocodona. I really would like to get the 1,000 mile buckle, and that's a great milestone. But yeah, just like appreciate, like showing appreciation for everyone that's out there for me during the race. Like sometimes it's hard to like I've been kind of in a low spot and then I take it out on crew in some way, and I'm not proud of that. So if I can, I think my big goal this year is to really like enjoy myself and like I know I'll have lows, but like know that like my crew is there for me. I need trust the crew, and they're excited to be out there. I want it to be a really fun time for everybody. So yeah, like doing well, like the best I can with like self management and putting on a good face and like staying strong, I think. Yeah, and just like outwardly expressing how much enjoyment I'm getting out of this event.
All right, last question for you. It's a fun one. We asked ChatGPT how many steps you'll likely take from Black Canyon City all the way up to Flagstaff on the Cocodona 250 course. We've had some wild answers all over the board. What's your guess?
A million.
It's about half that. So
Oh,
350,000 to half a million steps. So half a million
wow.
steps to Flag, less than a million. It'll be a lot easier.
Wow, that's fun.
Yeah, it's not that many. It sounds like
Yeah,
sounds easy. Yeah.
that does sound easy.
Awesome. Well, remember that Cocodona 250 kicks off on Monday, May 5th at 5 a.m. Pacific time. You'll be able to catch all the action live on the Mountain Outpost YouTube channel. The team over at Aravaipa Running will be bringing you nonstop race coverage around the clock. There will also be behind-the-scenes footage and more coverage on Cocodona 250's social media channels. If you've been enjoying Flagstaff Bound, check us out, Distance to Empty. We are a podcast completely dedicated to the 200-plus mile distance. Sarah, where can people follow your race this year?
I maybe my crew, maybe I'll have them run the Instagram account, my Instagram.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Good luck out there.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.